Wax's podcast, talking mad shit about uninteresting facts. Wax's podcast. Listen to it every Wednesday.
Sorry, that was just so boring that I fell asleep during the intro. What's up, y'all? This is Wax coming to you live in Wax's podcast. Not exactly live, because you're not listening to it right now. I've said that like a million times. I think I say that like every week on this podcast, so I beat the shit out of that dead horse. I beat that dead horse so fucking hard that I'm not even using my fists and my feet and elbows and shit anymore. I'm using a spiked bat at this point. But it's Wax coming to you live with episode 8 of Wax's podcast. Like I said last week, speaking of beating the shit out of a dead horse, I said I wasn't going to come. You thought I wasn't going to have another episode when I did episode 7. You said there's no way he's going to make it to 8. 7's a lucky number. There's no way he's going to make it to fucking 8. Here I am with podcast number 8. I'm going to make it to fucking 1 gazillion and 8. You watch. And I'll tell you many reasons I will do that. But, you know, that whole segment was beating the shit out of a dead horse. You should take that dead horse to FPS Russia's house. If you've never seen FPS Russia on YouTube, he's one of like the most popular channels on there, but he's fucking awesome. Like, I don't even understand how that dude does that legally. But FPS Russia is this dude that he lives in Georgia, and he like does a fake Russian accent, and he just blows shit up. And I don't even understand how the fuck it's legal. Like, he owns a tank, and he like shoots like fucking cars, like you know, like he has like a Jeep Cherokee, and he's like, watch as I shoot it with a fucking actual tank that's like used in Iraq. So take your dead horse over to FPS Russia's house on his farm in Georgia, wherever he's at, and be like, listen, FPS Russia, I beat this fucking dead horse all I can. I hit it with my spiked bat. I had fucking nunchucks, and the fucking thing's just not dead enough. And he'll be like, listen, I'll shoot it with my tank. I can't fucking do his... I mean, he can't even do a Russian accent, but I definitely can't do his false Russian accent. But, what was I talking about? Yeah, I'm back. And I'm going to keep coming back. So, like I said, episode 1 gazillion and 8. And I'm pretty sure that that's possible because I think that human beings will be able to live forever. And that's why I got to quit smoking, y'all. I'm still smoking the cigarettes like a fucking idiot. And it's not that I'm scared of getting lung cancer. It's that I'm scared of getting lung cancer too soon. And hear me out on that. What I mean is that, you know, in the next not couple years, but I think in maybe 20 years, they're going to have a chip that you put inside of your body, and it just fucking gets rid of it. Like, it just, it's like an anti-cancer chip that you put into your body, and it'll probably actually be one chip that pretty much kills everything. Like, you won't have to worry about, you know, lung cancer, AIDS, sexually transmitted diseases, like anything. It's just gonna fucking eliminate. That's how technology is getting. It's moving at an exponential rate, and it's only normal that it's gonna go into the medical technology field too. Why would it skip that? Well, I guess you could argue that maybe the companies, like I guess Chris Rock said back in the day, you know, the money's not in the cure. The money's in the medicine. Just keeping, you know, Magic Johnson, just have AIDS for a long time, and you got to keep buying the pill, and you never get well. And if you never get well, you got to keep spending money on the pill. It's just like having a fucking car payment that you never actually pay the full balance on. So I'm of the belief that in those 20, 30 years from now, maybe we got to be careful all the fucking robots that are going to take over or whatever's going to happen. But we will... Not we all will. The rich people, the rich people will be having fucking sex, doing drugs, smoking cigarettes, and drinking alcohol, all at their free will, because all the damage that it does to your body will be eliminated by whatever this hypothetical chip is going to be. But that's my prediction. You heard it here first. When 2032 comes around, hope I did the math right on that, because I fucked up royally on some math I did last week. And when 2032 comes around, mark my word, people like Mitt Romney himself will look older but not be dead unless he dies soon. Which, you know, I don't wish death upon anybody. I hope he doesn't die soon, but you mark my words, Mitt Romney in 20 years if he's not dead already and this chip is invented, he'll just be like, he'll just be fucking, and he'll be doing, well, and maybe not him. Maybe a better example was somebody like Donald Trump, or like, Hugh Hefner will probably be dead by that time, but a Hugh Hefner-esque type of, didn't I said that in a rap one time. Hugh Hefner-esque and huge treasure chest. I rhymed. Fucking weird. But, that's my thoughts that I randomly had on the cancer chip that will be appearing in the future. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. You have been blessed with information that will save your life or possibly destroy your life, because if you're young enough and believe that, you'll just do all this bad shit until then, and then when it doesn't happen in 2032, you're going to blame me. And you're like, what the fuck, Wax? I thought you said that we're going to have this chip, and you're going to look over, and then all you're going to see is a fucking a tombstone, and maybe my epitaph should say, you should have never fucking listened to me. Write it in red. You should have never fucking listened to a word I said. Thanks, guys, for listening. Once again, I got a lot of great letters this week, a lot of good emails. I said that as if I got letters and emails. Like, I actually got fucking snail mail sent to my house, like, from fucking Tim in the Soviet Union asking about how he wants to rap and move to L.A. But that didn't happen. It was all email. It was all digital. There was no actual writing. Do they even teach writing in school anymore, by the way? Like, what's the fucking point? Like, if they don't teach, like, I remember, like, you had to learn how to fucking write. Like, nobody really writes anymore. Everything is, like, on a screen. You either touch the screen or touch a keyboard. I think writing is another thing, like I was saying last week, these things that are going to be relics, things I think things I mentioned last week were answering machines, not voicemail, like actual answering machines, like, the VHS, fucking VCR, even the DVD player, the payphone. Is writing going that way? I think cash is also going that way. Like, a lot of people don't carry cash anymore. You just have a card. I think in the future you're just gonna have a fucking chip, and it's gonna do everything. It's gonna open your fucking key to your house. It's gonna have all your bank account information. It's gonna have the lung cancer removal that I talked about, and you're just gonna have this one chip wherever you go. If you want to buy something, you just fucking wave your arm, and it takes money out of your bank account in some kind of magical way. But I appreciate you guys listening. I appreciate you guys sending the emails. I just appreciate the fact that I have fans that listen to me. I was actually this past Friday, I was at a bar down in Venice, and I live in Venice, but it was down like right by the water. And I was with a lady friend of mine, and we were shooting some pool, and then we left the place, and outside this dude came up to me. He's like, "Yo, what's up, Wax?" And he actually gave me a hug, and that shit like that. Some of you guys are there, yeah, you hugged a dude, but that's because you're fucking stupid. But, shit like that makes me feel good. It feels good to have fans, and I really sincerely appreciate you guys. And, I just wanted to say that. While I was down there in Venice, an interesting thing that I noticed was, it's not really interesting, but all dudes everywhere talk about sports, but for some reason it's more funny to me when Southern California dudes talk about sports, because it just sounds so funny. They're like, like, I think I heard some guy say, like, I'm like, I can't do it. I can't do the fucking, I'm bad at impressions. But, like, there's this Southern California accent. It's like, bro, Tony Romo is so gnarly. Like, their O-line is fucking, it's fucking brutal. It's fucking brutal, bro. Like, my dad, like, he likes the Cowboys, but, like, fuck that. Like, Tony Romo is fucking gnarly. Like, I don't know, man. It's just funny when I hear dudes like that talk about sports. I just wanted to touch on that. Like I want to touch on a lot of things. A lot of different things I want to touch on. But, what am I talking about? What did I do this week? You know what I did today is I had a photo shoot. To anybody that does, the entertainment industry stuff, whether you're an actress, actor, comedian, I don't even know if that's right. But I don't even know why I'm putting gender into this at all. But you're a musician, anything in the entertainment industry, you might have to have a photo shoot. And so it was about time I had one, because the photos of me that are on the internet are pretty fucking terrible. Like, there's a lot of really bad ones. So I'm trying to get a couple good ones. And actually had fun with today's photo shoot. Me and my manager, Brian, and this chick, Austin, who's awesome. Awesome Austin. That should be her nickname. We went out and we shot a bunch of photos of my fucking pretty face. And it was fun. And I was surprised that it was fun because one of my least favorite things about doing what I do is stuff like that. Like I love video shoots. I love shooting videos, but like photo shoots where you kind of like pose and try to look like whatever, I'm not really into. But I heard somebody talking about this. I heard somebody talking about, if you have a job that you do that you like, you're not getting paid for the stuff that you do that you like. Like I might get a pretty good amount to go do a show. I'll be on the stage for an hour and I'll get a nice little check, and that hour is so fucking fun. Like it's how I'm getting paid to do this, really? Like this is amazing. But you're not getting paid to do that. You're getting paid to do all the stuff that sucks. Like a photo shoot, for example, you don't get paid to do a photo shoot. You actually you pay somebody to shoot the photos and shit like that. And you might not enjoy it or whatever, and it sounds like a fucking total pussy bitch to even complain about something like that, but like, there's better examples, if you got to travel, like you'd say you do said show, and you get a nice little check for the show. You're not getting paid for the hour you're on stage. You're getting paid for the fucking day before when you're at the airport. The day after when you're at the airport, what else is unenjoyable about this shit? Like to some people, like sometimes you gotta wake up early to do blah, 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 what am I talking about? I have a fucking simple life. It'd be better if I related to this, to somebody that actually did difficult shit, or somebody that's like super, super famous, like if you're Jay-Z, and you have to stay up and you finish your show at 1:30, then you have to go and do like the post-show interviews, then you might have to go to the after party, and then you got to wake up at 6 a.m. to do like a radio interview. Like, it's that moment when the fucking alarm clock rings that you're getting paid for. All that fucking check that you got last night for I don't know how much he gets paid, $200,000 or whatever for playing whatever show he played. You're getting that $200,000, you're actually getting that in 1 second, and that's when that fucking alarm rings the next morning and you got to go to the radio show or whatever you got to do the next morning. That's my point. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but there's other jobs. There's other jobs, like many jobs I've had in the past, where you're getting paid for every fucking second of that shit. The kind of job where you're just looking at the clock, like you spend 50% of your time looking at the clock to see what time it is, and the time just moves so slow. And when you're getting a certain amount per hour at that job, like you're getting paid by the second. Like every second you're earning 40 cents or whatever. I don't know what the fucking math is or whatever, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. You're earning. It's like you clock in and you clock out, and you're getting paid for every fucking second you are working there. And I hate to sound like a dick, but I think if you if you listen to this podcast while you're at your job, you most likely have a job like that. Because you're listening to something like this, or music, or another person's podcast, or whatever it is that you listen to at work. You're listening, or the radio, sports talk radio, talk news radio, pop top 40 radio. You're listening to that shit, and a lot of times you'll make the comment like, man, this really helps the time go by, which is sad considering life is your life is not guaranteed, and we only have a certain amount of time on this earth, and you have a job that sucks so bad. And trust me, I'm not saying you as in like you fucking lowly serfs. I'm saying I am one of you, and I've had a million jobs like that. Those jobs where like you just want the time to fucking go by, and that's kind of sad that life works like that. You only got a certain amount of time you should be enjoying every second. Why would you ever have a time where you're just like fucking hoping and praying that the time just goes by? So that being said, if you listen to this podcast at your job, there's a very high probability, if you're one of the people that hits me up like, yo, Wax, I like your podcast, it really helps the time at work go by fast, then you almost 100% chance have a job like that. You're getting paid for every fucking second you're there, which in turn, I guess, if you're getting paid to listen to this. So, hey, I'm glad I could be a part of your fucking money making process. I really appreciate you letting me into that. I've had jobs like that. I remember this one job I had. It was an office job, and I just remember like doing shit to like doing shit to pass time and doing shit so people wouldn't bother me. Like, you know, just walking around the office trying to looking like I was busy. Like I'd have a fucking clipboard, or like what other things would I have? Just walking around with a clipboard, walking around like you're looking for something. Like, what, like that facial expression? We're like, where is that stapler? Where is that fucking fax that I was looking for? Shit like that, you know. And fucking you just get coffee. I used to drink so much coffee at that job, just because I wanted to get up. Like I went to there was like a coffee area. As many of you that work 9 to 5s that have an office job have a similar thing. There's an area with a coffee machine. You go there. I remember literally going to the coffee machine, and it wasn't a machine. It was a coffee pot, just like a coffee maker, you know. And we had, you know, the job was nice enough that we didn't have to buy our own coffee. You know, you go into the cabinet, you get your Folgers crystals, you put it in the fucking filter, put it down, fill up the pot, and put it in. You know how to make coffee. I'm not trying to give you a fucking tutorial on how to make coffee, but anyway, you know, you make the coffee. I remember several times going to that coffee area, and if I was the only person there, I would take the coffee off of the warmer, dump all the freshly made coffee by whatever coworker was just there making coffee. I just dump it into the sink, and I just like slowly make coffee again, just to kind of like get out of doing whatever I was doing, and just to pass time, just to add on more meaningless minutes. More meaningless minutes. That's a nice little alliteration for you. More meaningless minutes making minuscule, whatever. Minuscule was a bad choice. That's what made me stop. You know, I remember doing that. I remember doing at that job. I remember going to the fucking bathroom when I didn't have to shit, and just like sitting there, like sitting on the toilet. Did I ever make a reference to that video last week? Sitting on the toilet. I don't know if you've never seen that. You must not watch a lot of YouTube. That fat lady sitting on the toilet singing a song about sitting on the toilet. They actually made a remix with the Mario song. Sitting on the toilet. So that was something that I probably watched at a job like that. But I just remember like being at my desk and being like, I don't feel like fucking with this right now. And I couldn't even explain to you the task that I had at that job, because it was so meaningless. Like them hiring me and having me work there and paying me, it almost seemed like charity. Like what the tasks I did were literally meaningless. Like they just gave me tasks so I wouldn't be doing nothing, and it was just. I'll explain it to you real quick. I'll explain it to you. It was an old business. A business that had been around for like 50 years, and they had all these old paper files. This was in D.C., so it was kind of like a government contractor kind of place. And they had all these old files, and I swear to you, fucking my job that I worked at for a pretty fucking long time, I would take all these old files and I would put them on a scanner. I would scan them all in and save them. And there was no way they would ever have to fucking use this shit. They just needed like it was like on some just in case shit. Like maybe 20 years down the line, they might even try to find one thing one time. I don't know. But my job for a long time was to put a piece of paper into a scanner, scan it, put the piece of paper off. Put another piece of paper in the thing, scan it, take the piece of paper off. And the fucked up thing was, all the files that I scanned, I would end up putting in a storage place anyway. They didn't throw out anything that I fucking scanned. Like, they had it in this one place, I scanned it, then I took it to another storage place. So my job was literally meaningless, and there was no, like, real time schedule that I was on. So I just did all this. I'd literally sit in the bathroom acting like I was shitting. So I guess unless they just didn't really notice what I was doing, which is probably true, like I would take like 3 shits a day. I mean, I wouldn't take 3 shits a day. I'd take like no shits a day. And the weird side effect of that job was, I remember I used to drink literally like 8 cups of coffee on those days, and that shit makes you feel weird over a long period of time. So that's that story. That's that story about meaningless jobs. And I'm sure some of you, I doubt, if you have a job that's more fucking meaningless than the job I just described you, I want you to email me. beatsforwax@gmail.com. beatsforwax@gmail.com. If you have a job that's more meaningless than the job that I just told you and explained to you, email me and give me a brief description of your job, and I'm going to read a couple of them on next week's podcast and see if that's actually the case. Because I don't think that there's that many competing with that. I don't think there's that many people out there that have something that's that meaningless. So hit me up, or with any other random questions. You know what I'm saying? I wrote down a couple things here. There's one thing that I wanted to briefly touch on here. I was at this place the other day, and somebody used the phrase "gosh darn it." Gosh darn it to me. And I'm not saying this to condone cursing, swearing, cussing, whatever the fuck you call it. And I'm not saying it to be cool and blah blah blah. I'm just trying to tell you this. The phrase "gosh darn it," or the phrase like "geez oh flip," or like I've even heard kids say "cheese and rice," like all that shit. I don't understand the point of that, because if you're saying "gosh darn it," instead of saying "God damn it" because you're worried about taking God's name in vain, do you really think God is so fucking stupid that he can't see what you just did there? Like he can't tell that you're taking his name in vain and just trying to hide it from him? I think it's even worse. Because he says one of the 10 commandments is thou shalt not lie. And if you're trying to deceive him into making him think that you're not taking his name in vain by just like changing a couple letters and saying something similar and just saying it in more of a Ned Flandersy accent, I think that you're not giving him enough credit. You know, you're not giving your Lord enough credit to think that he can't tell what you're doing there. So if you're gonna say "gosh darn it," you might as well say "God damn it." I just don't see the difference. If anything, I think "gosh darn it" is actually worse than... I'm going to go on the record there. Gosh darn it is worse than "God damn it." Because there's no deception in "God damn it." You're just saying a phrase, and you're kind of being like, you know what just happened was bad enough that I'm going to say, you know what, God, I'm going to take your name in vain on this one. You know, you can maybe say it apologetically, like, God damn it, like, sorry, God, but like, Jesus Christ, man. Like if you say cheese and rice and you say it just like cheese and rice, man. Like he knows what you're doing. Like you're trying to fool him, and he's the all-knowing. He knows everything you're thinking about. So, you know, depending on your belief system or whatever. Yeah, so that's that. I don't really have anything else to say about that. That's all I wanted to say. I think that I conveyed my message in a clear and concise way. And that was everything I wanted to get out about "gosh darn it," "god damn it," "cheese and rice," "geez oh flip." What else? Or just "geez," or "dang," or "gosh," or "dang." Like, I don't know. You know what I'm trying to say. Interesting podcast we got going here. Just like every week, I really don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. I just kind of touch on these random things that I thought about. Then I want to touch on one more thing before we kind of get into some questions. I got a lot of good questions this week, I got a pretty good deal of them, so I want to get into that pretty shortly. But one of the emails I got, and this is kind of related to something that a couple months ago I was on tour, right? Hold on one second. This is nighttime, so I'm not drinking coffee today. I'm drinking Bud Light. I know a lot of you out there think it's whack that I drink Bud Light, especially some of you guys that are in Europe and stuff and think American beer sucks anyway. But, sometimes you just get accustomed to shit. I'm just accustomed to Bud Light. Every time I go into the store, I'm a fucking idiot, man. Every time I go into the liquor store or 7-Eleven, I look around for like 10 minutes. I look at all the beer they got, think about getting something, and every time I just get Bud Light or Tecate. Or if it's summertime, I like Pacifico. I really like Mexican beer. I tend to like Bud Light, and then some type of either Tecate, Corona, or Pacifico. And I do like the green Sierra Nevada. I love Stone IPA. Stone IPA is the shit. And I love some European beer too. You know, the simple ones too. I like Heineken. I like a lot of the Belgian beer. What's that? The Delirium. The Delirium beer is really good. Says that tangent. This is what I wanted to talk about. Somebody emailed me about this. A couple months ago, I was on tour, and me and my boy Frank and my boy E, we made a stop in Philadelphia. As I have many times. I love Philadelphia. I've been going to Philadelphia since I was a kid. I played many shows recently at the Troc. My old band used to play at the fucking Grape Street pub in Manayunk, which is right outside of Philly. It's almost like the Georgetown of Philly. But I've been going there. My cousin went to Temple University. I used to go up there and hang out with him. We go to fucking Love Park and skate. I love Philly. I love the buildings. I love the history. I love the fucking movie about Tom Hanks and AIDS or whatever that was made about it. I love fucking Rocky. I love the people in Philly. I don't say this to kiss ass. The people that have showed me love in Philadelphia have been like the best fans ever, man. People are just like the way sports fans are in Philly, man. They fucking, when they go out to see something, they go out like they fucking mean it, man. They fucking put their hearts into shows. They put their hearts into sporting events. And I love the people of Philadelphia. All that, Philadelphia. I had never really known how to say that right. Philadelphia. I think that's why people say Philly. But, all that being said, the Philly cheesesteak. The Philly cheesesteak is probably the most overrated thing of all time. Not of all time is fucking. I should never use the word of all time, but as far as regional foods, like foods from a fucking town, the Philly cheesesteak has got to be. And I've traveled. I'm not that well traveled, but in the United States, I consider myself very well traveled. I've been to almost every major city in the United States, and when you're on tour and shit, you kind of make it like I've had New York pizza. I've had Chicago deep dish pizza. I've had Philly cheesesteaks. I haven't just had a Philly cheesesteak. I've been to Geno's. I've been to Pat's. I've been to Jim's on South Street. I've been to fucking underground fucking hipster cheesesteak spots that all the fucking people in Philly fucking tell me to go to. I've been to these places. The Philly cheesesteak is a fucking steakum, cheese whiz, and that's it, on a fucking non-toasted, dry-ass fucking hoagie roll. It is something that you could totally get in any fucking place, anywhere in the country, and I don't know why it's special in Philly. And matter of fact, I'm going to take it to the fucking next level, people in Philly. Love y'all, but I'm going to take it to the next level. Because of the lines and because of the fucking factory-esque nature in which they pump out these cheesesteaks, there's even less love in the sandwich. There's a fucking pile of fucking stale, hard, dry French rolls. Or they're not even French rolls, man. People in France wouldn't even fuck with But no, man. Because especially at Pat's and Geno's, and I give you this Philly people, that those are the touristy spots, and there's always a big ass line, and they got to make their money. And Pat's has great French fries, by the way, but there's a fucking pile of rolls, a pile of meat. There's like no seasoning. There's no fucking flavor. And then they put some fucking cheese on it. And then they fucking yell at you. They always fucking yell at you and are rude to you, which I like that, actually. I like that. That's like a little Philly flavor to it. But if they could only put that Philly flavor into the actual sandwich. If only they could do that, Philadelphia. If only they could put some actual flavor onto the sandwich, then maybe I wouldn't complain about it. But I've given it so many chances. It's like a fucking girlfriend that you never really liked, that you just keep kind of being like, maybe we should just keep this going. I'll try it again. You know what? Maybe that just wasn't the right way of doing it. I'll go to another place, blah, blah, blah. And I'm continually unimpressed. Continually. And another part of it is like, and granted, totally, you could say this about the New York pizza, the Chicago deep dish pizza, the Philly cheesesteak. These aren't things that you can only get in this area. You know what I'm saying? Like a dude that makes the best Chicago deep dish pizza could move to Los Angeles and still have the recipe and make it. There's other kinds of regional foods, like the crabs in Seattle or Alaska, the fresh sushi on a coastal restaurant in Japan that was just caught off the fucking pier that you're eating on. Same thing goes for the motherfucking blue crabs in the Chesapeake Bay, by the way, in Maryland. What's another example? A fucking steak in Omaha, Nebraska. If you go to a steak place in Omaha, Nebraska, that fucking cow was just fucking killed out back of that fucking steakhouse that day. Like, those cows, I've never seen a fucking cow running down South Street in Philadelphia. I've never seen a fucking... I've never seen a fucking... I've never seen a bovine... I don't even know what that means. I know it has something to do with cow, but I've never seen a cow running up the stairs that Rocky ran up and down of in the movie Rocky in Philly. I've never seen that. I've never seen a cow in that town. So they're going... I mean, you know, honestly, that cow probably came from fucking Nebraska too. And I don't know why I'm going so hard on this. I just think it's funny. And I think that Philly cheesesteaks are ridiculously overrated, and I know that some people in Philly are fucking punching their punching bags right now. Actually, they're punching their fucking dead cows in a meat freezer, like whatever Rocky did right now, and they're fucking mad at me. But you got to understand that I love the city of Philly, but I got to call a spade, or whatever the phrase is, when I see it. The French fries at Pat's are great, by the way, and I've eaten a lot of good meals. Italian food, if you eat Italian food in Philadelphia, I'm just trying to get a little bit back from y'all. By the way, I wore a Phillies t-shirt in my last music video, which has 4 million views on YouTube. I love the history of Philly sports. I love the history of Philly city. And if you go to Philly, skip the cheesesteak, go to an Italian restaurant, and you'll get some good-ass Italian food. Italian food in Philly is amazing, just like it is in Chicago and New York. But I think that I've had actually better Italian food in Philly. So that's what I'm going to say about the Philly cheesesteak. I just don't think it's that fucking good. Hold on for a second. Sorry about that, y'all. What am I doing here? I'm done being an asshole about Philly cheesesteaks. Oh, yeah, let's do some segments. Wax's True Hollywood Stories. I've told a lot of them. It's not like I'm fucking Demi Moore or something like that. I don't have that many stories, but I do have this story. This story I feel bad about, actually. Through my boy T-Rex, who's a comedian who I've talked about several times, and I need to get him on this podcast. Actually, I want to start having some guests. I think it would break this shit up a little bit, make it more exciting. Have some guests come in here and talk some shit, do some interviewing of people and shit. But my boy T-Rex, like I said before, he knows everybody. Everybody in the comedy world he pretty much knows. And a person I became friends with through him is Craig Robinson. I guess I don't know if I'm friends with him anymore, but Craig Robinson, if you don't know who that is by name, he plays Daryl on The Office. He was the bouncer in Knocked Up. He was on Hot Tub Time Machine. He hosted a show for a while, like a game show or something. I can't remember what it was, but he's a pretty famous dude. And he also does stand-up, and he's also a badass musician. He does stand-up where he incorporates music, like he plays keyboard, and it's really funny, really good. So a couple times I've been to his shows, and like he'll have T-Rex up there, and T-Rex kind of freestyles, and then if I'm at the show, they'll have me come up there and fuck around and freestyle. I remember one time at the what's it called? The Improv on Melrose. It was me and T-Rex, and Craig was playing piano, and then Dane Cook was playing guitar, and it was me and Kid from Kid and Play. If you remember, yeah, that's even old for me. That Kid and Play from the House Party movies freestyle. And that was pretty crazy. But more recently than that, Craig had a show at the Improv in Anaheim, California. So I guess this isn't really a Hollywood story, but fuck it. It's like an hour south of LA. But T-Rex was opening for him, so me and a couple of my friends, EOM and AK, we went down there and checked it out. And I didn't know that they were going to invite me onto the stage at like the very end when it's supposed to be super funny and shit. And I was kind of nervous going up there. It was like a sold out show. It was like 300 or 400 people in there watching him perform, and he was killing it. So they had me get up there and freestyle, and I was like real nervous. They were already freestyling, saying all kinds of funny and kind of lighthearted shit, a couple mama jokes, stuff like that. And something happened when I started freestyling. I got into like this little battle mode, and like I don't remember exactly what I said. I remember it wasn't that smooth or good, but I remember one specific line I said while I was freestyling, just like off the dome or whatever. I said, "Y'all are some unfunny little unfunny cunts." I sat in the back and I didn't laugh once, and I said stuff like that. Like it turned into something. I don't know. Maybe I'd been watching too many disaster battles that day or something, but it turned into like this kind of mean-hearted battle rap. And I found out from T-Rex afterwards that, like, you know, Greg didn't appreciate that. He said he was never going to have me he was never going to have me up at his show again. And I think he was really upset with me. I haven't talked to him since. It's not like I talk to him all the time and shit, but, like, he definitely was my friend, and I think I might have ended that friendship by being a dick. So that's my Hollywood story for this week. And it's not really funny. It's actually something I'm kind of sad about because he's a good dude, and I don't mean to be a fucking dick, but sometimes when you're just freestyling, especially when, you know, you come from the background of kind of like just naturally rapping about dissing people, I guess that's what happens. But I got a couple laughs, but I think most of all it just wasn't that good. All right, whatever. Next segment. So smooth transitions. And the next segment is call somebody and fuck with them. I think I'm gonna try to call my boy Adam, but thanks to somebody who I'm gonna give a shout out later. Who was that? I'm gonna find it right now. Who was that fucking gave me that advice? Thanks to Mike M. Mike M with the audio advice. I'm gonna try something different this week. Instead of holding the fucking phone up to the microphone with the speakerphone on, I actually got a little bit of, you know, I got this shit plugged into Pro Tools, and I think I got my little audio shit hooked up a little bit. So if y'all thinking I'm not stepping my game up, fucking think again. But I think I am gonna have to hit stop and then arm this track in Pro Tools. I can't believe I record this shit in Pro Tools. It seems like I should just use an easier program to record this podcast. But I'm going to stop it, and I'm going to try to arm this track, and I think that I got a much better sound quality going on right now with the fucking phone thing. So hold on one second. Alright, let's try this shit. Let's see. Even if he doesn't answer, it'll be interesting to... He probably won't answer. Sorry for clearing my throat so many times. Look at that. It already sounds better than normal. Is that the right volume? It's pretty late. He might not answer. Adam.
Yeah.
Oh, did that wake you up, dude?
No, unfortunately.
Oh, cool. You got a second?
Yeah, what's up?
Dude, I think you know how I know Ryan Phillippe, right?
Huh?
He's shooting this movie, and I think I might have gotten you a part in it if you want to be in it.
Sure.
Because he needs this character, and he was describing me the character, and it sounded like something you could play. He's shooting It's kind of weird. He's shooting a movie about Mike Tyson, and Mike Tyson had this kind of like wacky cellmate.
Okay.
And it's going to be actually Mike Tyson starring in the movie, and you would be his cellmate.
Sure.
But the thing is, there's a part where he rapes you.
Right in my mouth or my butt?
In your butt, and you have to actually show it, and it has to be a penetration.
It has to be real inside of my butthole.
No, I'm just fucking with you, man. You're actually on my podcast right now.
Nice.
Yeah, I do a segment called "Call Somebody and Fuck with Them." I just do an awful prank call, and then after that, I kind of do like a mini interview. You got like a second to talk?
Sure. That was a terrible prank. Of all pranks, it was pretty bad.
I usually make them up as I go, man, and that was probably the worst one I've had so far.
And the worst part is like the name drop of I know Ryan.
I was trying to fucking think of something that would like convince you that I might actually have something for you, you know?
Well, if it's anything that gets me excited, it's talking about Ryan Felipe.
Well, you know, he's the most famous person I know. I don't know.
Oh man, what about Craig Robinson? He's pretty close.
Yeah, but I don't think that would be as believable.
He's a black guy, my feelings about black people, I know.
So what's up with you, man? I just want, I talk to people that are in the entertainment industry, and you've been out here in LA doing your thing for a while, and I know that you got a really random thing happened to you recently. You're going to be on a game show, right?
I am. I'm doing a Total Blackout on Sci-Fi.
So for anybody that's listening that doesn't know what that is, could you explain to them what that is?
Yeah, it's a show hosted by Urkel, my man Jaleel White, and it's
that's your man
show, now. I mean, I say that to all people that meet at least one time. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like, you're my man. We've met more than one time, so officially.
For people that don't know, by the way, I've known Adam for pretty much the whole time I've lived in LA. For many years, we did a show together called the Wax and Ajax show that was half music, half comedy. So me and Adam go back pretty much to the day right when I moved to LA. But go ahead and explain to people what this show is.
The show is pretty much like Fear Factor, but you're in total darkness.
So they have like infragreen cameras on you.
Yeah, I mean, it looks better than infragreen. It's like a gray. Like it takes like blonde people and makes them look brunette. You know what I mean?
Oh, right.
So, and like I'm a fat guy, I obviously know that, but I don't know that. And then they wear this terrible like lycra spandex suit that was black, but it looks gray. So instead of looking fat and black, which is slimming, I look fat and gray, which is not slimming.
Wait, you're wearing spandex?
Yeah, they make me wear this like ridiculous spandex outfit.
Oh,
and then like
so for the camera.
For the camera, and then underneath the spandex, they make me wear like a man diaper, so you can't see my meat through the stretchy parts. You know what I mean?
That's funny as shit. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I have a weird like man diaper tan line or like lines in my spandex. So like I'm like muffin topping it on TV. It's pretty good.
You mean your penis is coming out? Like that's coming over the top?
No,
your mandingo is coming over your man diaper?
No, I mean like I'm just coming out all over the place. Like it was a size too small for me at least.
Oh right. They didn't have quintuple X?
No, they didn't have the Olympiad this year.
No, I'm just fucking with you, man. But I assume it hasn't aired yet, and you can't really tell us the results, right?
Yeah, I can't tell you the results, but I can tell you it's fucking awesome. I was so good on it, they brought me back for an all-star episode that airs later in the season.
Are you sick or something?
No, I'm just me.
You sound a little hoarse.
I mean, I have this new smoking apparatus.
What's that?
Pretty. It's like a wax. It's like a wax skillet. It's called.
Explain to people what wax is for non-Californians that may not know what this.
Wax is like it's a concentrate, which is all I smoke now because I'm a bougie California guy, and it's like hash times 10, and it looks like earwax, and it's like disgusting looking. And you take a little thing called a dabber, and you touch it in there, and you touch it on something hot, and it's kind of like hot knives, but like high-tech hot knives. Ah. And it's one-hitter quitter, like the original one-hitter quitter. Like I smoke one time a day. How
come people that smoke weed are so fucking, they have so much ingenuity, but they only apply it to weed?
That's the magic of weed. It makes you really good at one thing. You know what I mean? Like Shaun White is like the exception. He's the kind of one guy that probably smokes weed that can do like two things really good. Like wax. Like you're really good at walking. I've always said that you're like the best walker I've ever seen.
I'm a champion when it comes to that.
And that's the only thing you'll ever do that's good.
Just to let you guys know, by the way, Adam was so good on that show that the trailer, like the commercial that they show for this season, is all Adam.
Yeah, it's just me, just freaking out, being terrified like a pussy.
So Adam, let's talk a little bit about your life, because I always think it's interesting the way that people, you're from VA, you're from kind of the same area as me, the DC area. And you've been in LA for a while. What made you originally make the journey? I know tell people what you do and what made you move out here.
Well, I do stand up, so I do stand up comedy, and it was a choice between New York and LA. I've done comedy for probably 10 years now total, and I was like 5 years into it, and I was growing out of DC. Like I was, as big as I could probably be in DC without staying there too long and being a shacky road comic. So I moved to LA, started partying, enjoying life, knew a couple people, our mutual friend T-Rex.
Yeah, I was just talking about him.
Wayne, and, we kind of hung out. That's how I met you, Mr. T. And then, just comedy brought me out here. It was you're in New York, and, the weather, the ladies, the weed, all took me to California.
I mean, I would argue that you're pretty much a certified California dude at this point.
I think so. I mean, I wear flip-flops like 90% of the time. I say hella and bra a lot. And I now, in every picture I take, I throw the hang loose chakra bra in every picture. It's like a natural thing. I look like such a dick face.
The hang loose is called the chakra bra?
Chakra bra.
That's funny as shit.
I mean, obviously, only a Californian would know that.
That's true. True.
Or someone who wishes they're from Hawaii. That's what I've become. I've become a guy who grew up in Virginia, wanted to move to California our whole life, and now that I'm in California, I want to move to Hawaii because it's Western. You know what I mean?
So once you get there, you're going to want to move to Japan.
Or Australia. Or Bali. And then hopefully, once I get to Bali, I'll be like, no, I want to go back to Virginia. And then I'll be back in Virginia and hang out there.
Right, and when you go back, you're definitely going to go the eastern route. On the plane.
I'm going to have to float. No, I'm going to swim. I've been swimming my whole life. I plan on swimming from Bali to Virginia.
You have been swimming your whole life. You're not lying about that.
No, I'm a fat swimmer. It's terrible.
By the way, people out there, and I know Adam, I don't like to call Adam fat. Because Adam's not fat like Adam, have you seen the Honey Boo Boo show?
I have. It's awesome.
Yeah, Adam is not fat like the mom from that show. Adam is the most agile, overweight dude that I've ever met. Adam is a fucking amazing swimmer, and he fucking can probably jump higher than I can. And he just happens to be a larger man.
Yeah, I mean, I do like to eat late. That's my thing. I'm a late night snacker. I just ate a bowl of cereal, and after midnight, which is like I'm a gremlin. I just added a couple more pounds to my stomach.
So do you think so as far as your weight, do you ever think about, do you think that you're going to try to, I guess lose weight or whatever? Or you're just like, fuck it? Yeah,
I always say that. And it's just got to be like, I'm just waiting for my first heart attack to really change my path. You know what I mean?
Right.
Is that sad? That's how America and like the world has become. Like, I'm waiting for my first near-death, like serious near-death experience. Like, maybe I should lose a couple pounds.
Yeah, I need to get lung cancer to quit smoking.
Exactly.
Damn,
you
man.
still smoke? I thought you quit.
I've quit a lot of times, man.
I know, damn it, man. I've quit it's been up to a year and 3 months now. It's the best thing I ever done.
That's awesome. I'm impressed by that and inspired by it. You know who's AK is like 3 weeks in to quitting.
That's good. He needs to smoke. It's tough being as cool as he is at wearing tank tops. By the way, he does pull off a tank top pretty good.
Yeah, he's going California too, dude.
Yeah, he's total California.
Yeah, once you move out here for a while, I don't really do tank tops yet, but who knows?
Well, that's because you have a bird chest and terrible shoulders and back knee.
That could be true. I need to get my body straight before I can fucking get my tank top on.
I didn't know that you and Eve, I'm not going to say broke up, but stopped manning out, and I didn't know he moved back home.
Yeah, he moved back to VA.
Was that like a money thing, or did you guys just tired of waking up and smelling each other's body?
No, our gay couple broke up. No, okay. I don't want to air his shit out on here anyway, but I don't, it's just the decision he wanted to make,
I got you. Well, he's still young. You still got time. You're old. You got to make it break it now.
Hey, man, I'm at the point where what the fuck else am I going to do,
I know. When you say that, I was thinking about the other day. I was like, God damn it, sometimes I wish I didn't do comedy so I could have, a real job and, a house and, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't own shit because I decided to do stand-up and because I fell in love with it. You don't own shit because you love music and you love entertaining people.
And it's like, what are you gonna? It's like once you pay a bunch of dues and that shit, what are you gonna do? Go back to you'd have to start from you'd have to be like an intern you'd be competing with people that just got out of high school and college or whatever,
That's exactly my point. My dad's like, so are you gonna make a real job? I'm like, dog, I'm too down into this. And by the way, I call my dad dog because he's Eddie Jackson. And I'm just like, dog, I can't do this anymore. I can't fight it and not get a real job. I got to keep plugging it out. I can't listen to my parents. Like, so you gonna get a real job and get your insurance? I'm like, fuck insurance. You know what I mean? Fuck that shit. I went to Obama to get it.
Fuck insurance. I agree with you. Fuck insurance.
Yeah.
Well, shit, Adam. I'm gonna fucking. I gotta fucking wrap this up. I got a couple questions to answer. And you got anything else you want to say? Is there anything you want to plug or anything like that?
Yeah, man, Competish, bro. YouTube.com/Competish. COMPATISH. Best fucking show. We just filmed our pilot, or it's like for our third season, but it's our pilot for that new company, Machinima.
Yeah.
And we hurt ourselves, so it's going to be awesome.
Oh, I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, it's going to be great, man. And you know, I'm going to come down and hang out in your new apartment, hopefully this weekend, and come a bit of it to watch football. So I'll see you there.
All right, cool, man. Yeah, definitely. We'll record. I've been doing the theme song for Adam's show Competition. I feel bad not talking about that so much, but check it out, youtube.com/Competish, COMPATISH, like Adam just said. I don't mean to be repetitive, but yeah, hit me up this weekend, man. I think Saturday night we might. Well, just hit me up. Just come down to Venice, kick it.
I will. All right, buddy. Thanks for having me on, man.
No doubt, man. Tell Beth I said what's up.
I will.
All right.
Good.
So basically, that fucking shit, and this is no fault of Adam's, but that to me sounded just as unintelligible as me holding the fucking phone up to the microphone. But hold on, I gotta switch something real quick. Hold up. Yo, sorry about that. I'm trying to keep these things kind of short. I don't want these things to go for a fucking hour and a half every week and shit. That seems a little excessive to me. So I might have to skip a couple of these questions that I wanted to read. I actually have more than I fucking thought, but let's go through this shit. I want to give some shout-outs real quick. Shout-outs, Landon D. Happy birthday to Jay from the UK. What up to Yassine from Ottawa. Giovanni, Nimbus, Mike M with the audio advice. Thanks, Mike. Even though it didn't really work out as I hoped. Melissa from Ohio, Raul from Maryland, Jesse from South Africa, Thado who says I suck at skateboarding. Hey, I never said I was good, you motherfucker. David C, King's Eyes, Scott in the UK, James from the UK, Lauren H, Nick A, Ben K, Marco from Edmonton, Daz from Southeast London, Kara, Bill from San Diego, Eugene from Ukraine, Max from Sweden, Noah from Northern Cali, and Genghis getting polished in Hong Kong, and also the homie Debonair. Of course I remember you, man. Let's go to some questions. So, I might have to skip a couple of these, man, just because sorry, Owen from New Hampshire, I might have to skip you. To the homie BM Craze, I might have to skip that one. It was a question about if I would collaborate with 2 Chainz. He recommended that we do a song where 2 Chainz talks about ass and I talk about titties. I would do that. BM Craze. I hope all is well with you, man. I actually know him personally. This is from Evita. My question is, what was your favorite Halloween costume, young or old? Oh, you know what? I asked that question without having an answer. What was I recently? I fucking tied a red tablecloth around my neck and said I was Little Red Riding Hood last year. So let's just say that that's my favorite one. Thanks, Evita. Alan. Yo, Wax, I really love your music since Ray William Johnson played Red in his old vlogs. Normally I'm into punk rock in general, but somehow it's dope to listen to your music. Puts me in a good mood. Thanks for all the blood, sweat, and tears. I appreciate that, Alan. But let me get to my question. Right now I'm about to start to go to university in Germany. The problem is that I hate my little creepy town. I think we're about to invent the same buffet at our McDonald's like your town used to have. That means that I appreciate you listening to the podcast. That was an old podcast reference. So I want to spend as much semester as possible in other countries. My first choice was Toronto, great city, but I also consider LA seriously. So my question is, would you recommend to live in LA for a year as a student, or do you think I should avoid it? How is life in general? That's like a whole another question. Or do you think it's more of a tourist city that becomes boring after a while? Do you think all the party opportunities and stuff distract me too much from studying? Thank you for reading this, helping me out, and taking the time. Cheers, Alan. P.S. People on the bus or streetcar, I can tell you that you're not from I can always tell that people aren't from the United States just by little things like using the word streetcar. Always think that I may be crazy or stoned because I listen to your podcast on my headphones, and sometimes I just lose my shit without any reason for other people. Makes me feel weird. Smiley face. I appreciate that, Alan. Let me start this by saying there's something going on in Germany where they're really good at teaching the fucking English language, because I don't know anybody that grew up in the United States that could possibly fucking speak a lick of German, much less speak it as well as all the people that email me from Germany. So biggest ups to Germany, or I don't know what it is, but people from Germany that hit me up are like really good at speaking English. And I think I've heard from some people that often in Europe, because there's so many countries that are close to each other, you know, you kind of got to speak two languages because you're so close to people that speak other languages, and oftentimes English is kind of like like if you if your native language is German and somebody else's native language is Portuguese, you will speak to each other in English, because so English ends up becoming this third party language that's almost like the intermediate language that everybody can kind of speak, if that makes sense. But as far as the moving to LA, man, you said something about it being a tourist city. I mean, LA has like, I don't know the exact number, but it has like, I think like, I'm not even going to embarrass myself by it because I don't know the numbers, but several millions of people living in here. And there's only a couple little areas that are touristy. There's like the Venice Boardwalk, the main part of Hollywood, like by Hollywood and Highland, and then I guess the Capitol Records building. I don't know. So I really don't consider it a tourist city at all, man. And as far as living here for a year, I think it'd be a great idea. I think Toronto is a great idea too. I love Toronto. It's a great city. So yeah, I think if you want to get out of your town and you want to live somewhere for a year, I think LA would be a fucking great place to live. And I don't know exactly, you didn't really say what you do, but if you have anything to do with the entertainment industry at all, it's an amazing place to live. It's a great opportunity. And if you go to school here, say you go to UCLA or something, a lot of people that you might meet might be able to help you out. And so I would definitely recommend moving here. Life in general here is awesome. Like I think I was talking about last week, Southern California is the shit. Why wouldn't you want to live here? That's why a lot of the people you meet around here aren't from here, and they've lived here for years and years. It's a city of many, places like LA, places like New York, places like Toronto. That they got a lot of people there that aren't from there because it's awesome. All right, let's go to another one because that advice was so amazing. Greg F. Hello. You often talk about how much you enjoy Bud Light and Tecate. California is home to some of the greatest craft breweries in the world, including Lagunitas, Stone, Sierra Nevada, and Firestone Walker. I've never heard of that. Just to name a few, so I'm wondering if you have a favorite local brew. And my favorite local brew as far as California brews is Stone IPA, by far. I love Stone IPA. I didn't even know, I didn't know Sierra Nevada was a California beer. I guess maybe I did know that. I like the green one, the IPA. I like that too, but not as much as Stone IPA. That's a really, really good beer. He had a second part of the question too, but it's kind of more of a deeper one. About like me and record labels and stuff. Sorry man, I think I'm gonna skip that, Greg from MD. But I do appreciate your letter. This is from Patrick. Yo, what up, Wax? I was kind of inspired by some of your acoustic songs, and I'm thinking about learning how to play guitar. I never really learned how, and I was wondering how you learned and how long it took before you could actually play stuff. I want to just use the internet and teach myself. Is that what you did? No, because when I learned how to play guitar, there actually was no internet. Thanks, I love your music, man. I really appreciate that, Pat. I started learning guitar when I was 10, and at that time, when I was in middle school, I actually had a teacher. I actually took guitar lessons from this dude, Jim, who I think that I've told this story on the podcast. He was a blues guy with really short, stubby fingers, and I did tell this story. But I took lessons for a couple years, actually, and I learned a lot from that dude. Lessons and just being taught something all depends on your teacher. I remember there was other people I know that had guitar teachers that all they would do is just teach them Metallica songs. That's all they would do is just have tabs. But this guy actually taught me some theory, taught me some scales, and we would jam out, and he would be like, take a solo right now, stuff like that. So that kind of gave me the platform I needed, and once I stopped taking lessons, I was able to do my own research and just find chord formations and just and the best thing I did was I played in a band. We would just jam out all the time, and I had a brother that played music too, so we just practiced all the time. So I would say, as far as you learning, I do think that you could use in this day and age. You could just go on YouTube and watch tutorials and learn so much shit. You could learn so much shit. I've actually done it. I've actually brushed up on some guitar stuff just using YouTube tutorials. It's fucking great. So I appreciate that, Pat. Hi, Wax. This is from Bastion. I'm a fan of yours since RWJ first promoted you on one of his videos. So many people heard me through Ray, man. I got to get Ray on this podcast. I have 2 questions for you. I appreciate that, man. I have 2 questions for you to answer on your podcast. A good friend of mine and I want to take a trip to the USA. We are from Germany. Shocker, you speak fucking perfect English. After we finish school this summer, it would be great if we could see one of your shows. How old do we have to be? Because I think there are some different regulations in the USA than in Germany. We are 18 and 19 at this time. Well, that depends. I do a lot of all ages shows. The last tour I did was all ages shows. Like I did in LA, I did the El Rey, and it was all ages. But just now I did the last couple of shows I did were actually 21 and up. So at 18 and 19 you would not get in. There's basically 3 different levels of shows in the United States. There's all ages, 18 and up, because 18 in the USA is where you're considered an adult. You can do things such as buy cigarettes, join the army, and fucking, I don't know, get arrested as an adult and fucking get the death penalty or whatever. And then the other age is 21, and 21 means you can legally drink alcohol. Don't ask me why being an adult and being able to die in the fucking army is different than the age where you can drink alcohol. That's never ever made sense to me. At the very least, if you join the armed forces, that should take away that, and it should be you should be able to fucking drink if you want to. To me, that's absolutely ridiculous and always has been, but that's the way it works in the United States. It's either all ages, 18 plus, or 21 plus. And I do shows of all those. Unfortunately, in LA, a lot of times it's 21 plus, which sucks. But are there some more Wax t-shirts in the making? And how can someone support you best? Where do you get the best money from? Buying a t-shirt, buying iTunes, or listening to Spotify? iTunes and the shirt are better than Spotify as far as me making money, for sure. And then there are more. There's actually 2 different types of t-shirts being made right now. We're re-upping the Wax and Herbal Tea Fly with the shirts, and I also got this new design. So within the next week, they should be on sale. So if you guys want to cop them, I'll let you know about that on probably next week's podcast. Plus, I'll probably make a YouTube video about it. So I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that, Bastion. All right, let's go to Aaron. Aaron B. from Pittsburgh. What is this one about? This is pretty long. Let me make sure this is like... I'll just fucking read it, whatever. Dear Wax, first off, thanks for everything you do. Your lyrics are always real as fuck, and I think it's awesome that you stay accessible to your fans through Twitter and podcasts and stuff. I appreciate that, man. I like this one. I just started grad school for violin. At this point, this is what I actually want to do with my life. I work hard, but there are so many kids out there that have been working just as hard at the same thing since they were like 5. It's a crazy fucking rat race trying to get any job in classical music. Plus, you gotta be a clone of what they're expecting to even get taken seriously. Sound familiar? The thing is, since like 99% of the people in the business are squares, not many of them know much about busting out over a hip-hop track. I can do that, though, and it's one of my favorite things in the world to do. I play some of your stuff, actually. Dude, that's awesome, man. I would love to hear that or see that. If you ever record it, let me know. I think violin really mixes well with songs like Limousine, Help, and It's All Love. I'll see if I can make a recording sometime and send it over once I figure out how to use the studio and shit in the music building. My question is, what kind of things can I do to put this skill out here? Like, how do I let the right people know that I can do this kind of thing, etc.? Would it help to move to a place that has a decent local hip-hop scene, or would it mostly just be internet? Let me tell you something. Any advice you would have in this area would be awesome, even if it's just, dude, you're wasting your time, go join a country band or some shit. Well, let me tell you something. The skill that you're talking about, being a classical violinist and loving hip-hop and doing shit with hip-hop and violin is so fucking YouTube-ish that you could murder it on YouTube. If you're really good at what you're saying that you do, playing violin, first of all, and second of all, quote-unquote busting out over a hip-hop track, I mean, dude, make some YouTube videos. The first thing you should invest in is a video camera, and shit, maybe you even just use your phone if you have one on your phone. But I would recommend to do that shit on YouTube. Maybe team up with some, I don't know if you do this yourself, but team up with somebody that can program drums and just get some dope videos up there And that's something that could, and I'll help you promote it if it's good. I'll just do my best. I mean, and if it's real good, you could collaborate with people that already have a name on YouTube. That's like most of the people that are real big on YouTube. Not as much me, but in some cases me. I mean, Ray helped me out a lot. I collab with Tim De La Ghetto, with Dumb. Like, collaboration is a big way to get yourself out there on YouTube too. So I would recommend using the internet to your advantage, especially when you have a skill that's a little like, the internet is for niche stuff, and that's a really niche thing that you do. So I would recommend that. Sorry, Raul. Raul Justice was not that guy's real name. If anybody listened last week, and I'm sorry that we don't have the 3X shirts, man. But like, a lot of people, the big fans. I'm using Raul's pun there. I wasn't making fun of him. If I was a real asshole, I'd tell him to lose weight or some shit like that. But he wants a 3X shirt. And the problem, Raul, is, I have even the 2X shirts that I have, they don't sell that well, man. Like, so for me to get, maybe next time I'll just get like one 3X and one 4X. Because it's usually just for one or two people, but a lot of times they don't sell well, man. So like in my inventory, I just have all these 2X shirts right now, man. So I don't usually make the bigger ones, and I apologize for that. Oh yeah, okay. This one's from David. Hey Wax, I'm just curious why you haven't changed your rap name up since you first started making music under the name Wax. I know you only read compliments on your podcast. No, I don't only read compliments. People preface their question with compliments all the time. But I know you only read compliments on your podcast, but in the off chance that you read this, I want to remind you sincerely that Wax was recently voted as one of the worst rap names in the game. Yes, by the Complex blog. What do you think? Again, not trying to diss, but I happen to agree that you could come up with better. So why haven't you changed it? And do you have any general recommendations for coming up with dope stage names, album names, etc.? I'm going to answer this in a series of things. First of all, that was awesome that they voted me worst name because they knew who I am and they gave me some kind of recognition. Second of all, it's just too late for me to change it. What am I going to all of a sudden change it? Everybody knows me as Wax. I mean, I'm not going to change my name at this point. If once you get to a certain level, if you're Diddy, you can change your name every fucking year, and people are still going to. I mean, everybody still knows you're Diddy or P Diddy or Puff Daddy or whatever. People, you're so famous that everybody knows who you are. But right now, if I just change my name, there'd be people that saw my video 2 years ago, and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm gonna look that up again." They'd look up Wax and be like, "Who's fucking Strawberry McGiffin or whatever the fuck I changed my name to?" That being said, if you have any rap name recommendations for the name change, beatsforwax@gmail.com. Hey Wax, I just wanted to thank you. If you can give my brother Richard from Germany a shout out and a thank you for bringing me a Wax shirt home from his stay in America, I would appreciate it. Thanks for the letter, Phil, and shout out to you, Richard. Alright, I got one more. Damn, I really read through that fast, but it is about time to wrap this up. So I got one more. I don't even know what this is. I just kind of have these compiled on the computer. So this is from Brody K. Hey Wax, thanks for answering my question on episode 5 of your podcast. It made my day. Anyway, I have another question/suggestion. You have recently suggested to your listeners to watch a couple of things. The first was a documentary called Tapped, which I watched with my girlfriend, and after researching the topic a little more, it has had quite an impact on the way I live my life. Well, that fucking shit impacted the way I live my life too, Brody. As a matter of fact, I have a gallon jug. And since I've lived in Venice over a month, I've had the same gallon jug that I originally bought full of Arrowhead water, and when it's done, I put that motherfucker under the tap, fill it up, and I put it back in the fridge. So it's changed my life too. I know that doesn't sound like a big deal, but saves you money, saves you time, and it's good for the environment, and tap water's fucking fine. Don't be a pussy. The next was Idiocracy, which that's a movie, the Mike Judge movie Idiocracy, which we also watched and found ourselves saying so true pretty much all the way through. I was just wondering if you could suggest a couple of other similar movie or documentaries that base around things like that most people wouldn't really think about. Perhaps even make it a regular segment where you suggest insightful and interesting things to watch. Thanks, Blue from Australia. I really appreciate that question and suggestion, and I think it's a really good one. And I think I'm going to take you up on that, man. I don't know what I'm going to call it. Maybe I'll think of some kind of name for it. But, even last week, unfortunately, which is very, very opposite of Tapped, I recommended you G.G. Allen. I recommended a YouTube video or something last week too. What did I tell y'all to watch last week? I told you to fucking watch. I can't remember, but I told you about Gigi Allen. Gigi space Allin. Watch the video that comes up where it's 700,000 some views, and it's called "Bite Me, You Scum." If you didn't listen to last week's podcast, and just watch that and just know that guy existed. So let's start by what have I listened to recently? You know what's dope is I suggested the Jerry Seinfeld thing last week. So every week I'm going to suggest one thing. This week, this is for people like yourselves that listen to podcasts. There's a guy named Neil Brennan, who he's the co-creator of the Chappelle Show. Him and Dave Chappelle, created the Chappelle Show, and he has a podcast with this other comedian whose name escapes me. On Moshe, his name's Moshe, and they have a podcast called The Champs. And there's a couple really good episodes that I listened to actually yesterday. One of them is they have Charlie Murphy. They always have a guest. One of them is Charlie Murphy. One is Wayne Brady. And then a really fucking interesting listen is they have Lexington Steele, who, if you don't know it, is a porn star. He's a black male porn star. And his fucking interview they did with him, to me, was really interesting. Like, just thinking about what like a male porn star does and shit like that. So I would recommend it. The podcast is called The Champs. It's with Neil Brennan and the Moshe, whose last name escapes me. But I would recommend listening to an episode of that. Maybe start with just look through it and see who that you might be most familiar with. Charlie Murphy's a good one. Wayne Brady's a good one. And Lexington Steele, the porn star, is a good one. If you fuck with the Eric Andre show, then Eric Andre is a good one. But yeah. So that's a pretty good amount of time right there on the podcast. I apologize for yet the still shitty sound quality of the phone interview. But, I'm not perfect. Don't fucking act like you are. But that's Wax's podcast for this week. So be safe out there. Peace.